Top 10 underrated fantasy anime you have yet to watch. What's up, anime lovers? Today, we're diving deep into 10 fantasy gems that somehow flew under everyone's radar. These aren't your mainstream hits, they're the hidden treasures waiting to blow your mind. Let's get started. Kicking off with number 10, Little Witch Academia. This delightful series follows Ako Kagari, a non-magical girl determined to become a witch at Lunanova Academy, facing challenges while chasing her dreams of matching her idol Shiny Chariot's magical prowess. Little Witch Academia genuinely caught me off guard with how much heart it packed into every episode. When I first stumbled across this on Netflix, I expected another generic magical girl show, but Studio Trigger delivered something completely different. The animation quality is absolutely stunning. Every spell feels weighty and magical, with colors that pop off the screen in ways that made my jaw drop during action sequences. What really hooked me was Ako's relentless optimism in the face of constant failure. She's not naturally gifted, she struggles with basic spells while her classmates excel effortlessly, yet she never gives up. There's something deeply relatable about watching someone pour their heart into something they're genuinely terrible at. The supporting cast, especially Diana and Susie, bring perfect balance to Ako's chaotic energy. The world building feels lived in and authentic, with Lunanova Academy becoming a character itself. Each episode explores different magical concepts while maintaining character development that feels earned rather than forced. This show respects its audience's intelligence while delivering pure magical wonder. Sliding to number 9, Uchouten Kazoku. Set in modern Kyoto, where tanuki, tengu, and humans coexist, this series follows Yasuburo Shimogamo, a shape-shifting tanuki navigating family drama while uncovering mysteries surrounding his father's suspicious death years ago. Uchoten Kazoku represents everything I love about Japanese storytelling. It's weird, wonderful, and deeply philosophical without being pretentious. The premise sounds absolutely bonkers when you try explaining it to friends. Shape-shifting raccoon dogs living alongside humans in Kyoto, with some humans belonging to a secret society that eats tanuki hot pot during special occasions. But beneath this surreal surface lies incredible emotional depth. Yasuburo's relationship with his brothers explores family loyalty, responsibility, and finding your place in the world. The animation captures Kyoto's beauty perfectly, blending traditional architecture with fantastical elements seamlessly. Watching Yasaburo transform into different shapes while dealing with very human problems creates this unique viewing experience that sticks with you. The show's exploration of tradition versus modernity resonates strongly, especially through the Tanuki family's struggles to maintain their way of life in changing times. Each character feels fully realized, from the stern older brother to the eccentric Tengu master. It's comfort food for the soul, wrapped in the strangest packaging possible. Landing on number 8, Hakkenden Eight Dogs of the East. Based on a classic Japanese novel, this supernatural series follows Shino and his companions as they search for 8 sacred beads while confronting demons, political intrigue, and the mysterious power within Shino's sword. Hakkenden flew completely under my radar until I was desperately searching for something new during a particularly dry anime season. The first episode threw me into this complex world of spiritual powers, political machinations, and gorgeous character designs that immediately grabbed my attention. This isn't your typical shonen adventure. It's more mature, dealing with themes of duty, sacrifice, and the weight of destiny. Shino's character development fascinated me because he carries this burden of power that he never asked for, coupled with a mysterious past that slowly unfolds throughout the series. The supporting cast each represents different aspects of loyalty and honor, creating group dynamics that feel genuine rather than tropey. The animation quality consistently impressed me, especially during supernatural battle sequences where spiritual energy creates these beautiful flowing combat scenes. What sets this apart from similar supernatural anime is its commitment to character introspection. These aren't heroes rushing headfirst into battles. They're complex individuals grappling with moral choices that have real consequences. The political intrigue adds layers that kept me guessing, while the spiritual elements provide spectacular visual moments that showcase the studio's artistic capabilities. Looking at number 7, All Alone with You. This intimate fantasy drama centers on a young person discovering magical abilities while navigating isolation, friendship, and self-acceptance in a world where magic exists but remains largely hidden from ordinary society. All Alone with You hit me right in the feelings during a time when I desperately needed something that understood loneliness. The title perfectly encapsulates the show's core theme, that feeling of being fundamentally different from everyone around you. even when you're surrounded by people. The magical elements serve as perfect metaphors for feeling like an outsider. The character development progresses at this beautifully measured pace that allows every emotional moment to breathe. Unlike many fantasy series that rush toward epic battles, this show focuses on internal struggles and the gradual building of meaningful relationships. The magic system feels personal rather than systematic, reflecting the protagonist's emotional state in ways that create genuine investment in their journey. What really impressed me was the show's treatment of mental health themes through a fantasy lens. Depression, anxiety, and social isolation get explored with sensitivity while maintaining the magical wonder that makes fantasy appealing. The art style complements these themes perfectly, using muted colors during difficult moments and vibrant hues when hope emerges. It's therapeutic viewing that doesn't feel preachy or forced. Moving to number 6, Mushibugyo. In an alternate Edo period Japan, massive insects threaten humanity, while a special organization called the Mushibugyo fights back using both traditional weapons and supernatural abilities to protect innocent civilians from these monstrous creatures. Mushibugyo scratched an itch I didn't know I had for historical fantasy with giant bugs. The concept sounds ridiculous. Samurai fighting enormous insects in feudal Japan, but the execution is surprisingly solid. The historical setting provides rich cultural context, while the insect threat creates unique action sequences that feel fresh compared to typical sword-fighting anime. The main character's growth from naive newcomer to capable warrior follows familiar patterns, but the supporting cast elevates the experience significantly. Each Mushibugyo member brings distinct fighting styles and personalities that create entertaining group dynamics. The insects themselves are genuinely creepy and well-designed, making battles feel consequential rather than routine. What surprised me most was the show's commitment to historical accuracy despite the fantastical premise. The cultural details, social hierarchies, and period-appropriate technology create authentic atmosphere that grounds the more outlandish elements. Action sequences blend traditional swordplay with creative insect fighting techniques, resulting in visually interesting battles that showcase both human skill and monstrous threat. It's not groundbreaking television, but it delivers exactly what it promises, with enough charm to keep you engaged throughout. Shifting to number 5, Fairy Tail Rave. This crossover OVA brings together characters from both Fairy Tail and Rave Master universes, creating magical chaos as Natsu and Haru team up to face a threat that spans multiple dimensions and magical systems. As someone who followed both series during their original runs, this crossover felt like a gift I never expected to receive. Seeing Natsu and Haru interact brings together two completely different approaches to friendship-powered magic systems in ways that highlight what makes each series unique. The OVA manages to capture the essence of both properties while creating something that stands alone. The animation quality exceeds what you'd typically expect from crossover content, with fight sequences that showcase both series' signature moves in spectacular fashion. Watching Fairy Tail's destructive magic clash with Rave Master's more strategic approach creates visually interesting battles that fans of either series can appreciate. The humor translates well, maintaining each series' comedic timing while finding new jokes in character interactions. What impressed me most was how naturally the characters mesh, despite coming from different creative contexts. The shared themes of friendship, determination, and protecting loved ones create common ground that makes their partnership feel organic rather than forced. It's fan service done right, respectful to source material, while creating new content that enhances rather than diminishes either property. Transitioning to number 4, Neppuu Kairiku Bushi Road. Set in a post-apocalyptic world where martial artists use spiritual energy to fight mechanical beasts, this series follows wandering warriors seeking purpose while navigating the ruins of advanced civilization and ancient martial traditions. Neppuu Kairiku Bushi Road combines post-apocalyptic settings with martial arts fantasy in ways that initially confused but ultimately captivated me. The world building creates this fascinating contrast between ancient fighting techniques and futuristic technology, suggesting a civilization that achieved incredible advancement before falling to mechanical threats they couldn't control. The main characters embody different martial arts philosophies, creating ideological conflicts that drive both personal development and plot progression. Each fighting style reflects its practitioner's worldview, making battles as much about philosophical differences as physical capability. The mechanical beasts provide appropriately challenging opponents that require both skill and strategy to defeat. What keeps me engaged is the show's commitment to exploring how traditional values survive in changed circumstances. These warriors maintain honor codes and training regimens despite living in a world that seems to have moved beyond such concepts. The art direction captures both the desolation of ruined cities and the beauty of martial arts forms, creating visual contrast that reinforces thematic elements. It's not perfect, but it offers unique perspectives on familiar genre elements. Arriving at number 3, Bayonetta Bloody Fate. Based on the popular video game, this film follows the witch Bayonetta as she battles angels and demons, while uncovering mysteries about her past and the supernatural conflicts that define her existence. Bayonetta Bloody Fate proves that video game adaptations can work when they embrace their source material's strengths rather than trying to distance themselves from gaming origins. The film captures Bayonetta's confident personality and over-the-top action sequences while creating a cohesive narrative that works for newcomers and fans alike. The animation during combat sequences reaches spectacular heights, with Bayonetta's hair-based attacks and acrobatic fighting style translating beautifully to animated form. Each battle feels choreographed like a dance, combining graceful movement with devastating magical attacks in ways that create visual spectacle without sacrificing clarity. The character design maintains the game's distinctive aesthetic while adapting appropriately for animation. What surprised me was how well the film handles its mature themes without relying on shock value. Bayonetta's confidence and sexuality feel empowering rather than exploitative, while the supernatural conflicts explore concepts of faith, identity, and personal agency with more depth than typical action fare. The supporting characters provide necessary context without overshadowing the protagonist, maintaining focus while building the world effectively. It's stylish, substantive, and thoroughly entertaining. Approaching number 2, Makai Ouji, Devils and Realist. This supernatural series follows William Twining, a logical young nobleman who discovers his connection to Hell's politics when demons seek his power to determine Hell's next ruler, forcing him to navigate supernatural intrigue while maintaining his rational worldview. Makai Ouji completely blindsided me with how effectively it balances supernatural politics with character development. William's steadfast rationalism creates perfect tension with the increasingly bizarre magical situations he encounters, leading to both comedic moments and genuine character growth as his worldview gradually expands to accommodate new realities. The demon characters each represent different aspects of ambition and power, creating political intrigue that feels genuinely complex rather than simply good versus evil. Their interactions with William reveal different facets of his personality while advancing supernatural plotlines that maintain stakes throughout the series. The Victorian setting provides rich cultural context that enhances both character development and world building. What kept me hooked was the show's commitment to showing rather than telling character development. William's gradual acceptance of supernatural elements happens through experience rather than exposition, making his journey feel earned. The art style captures both the elegance of Victorian society and the otherworldly nature of demonic characters, creating visual contrast that reinforces thematic elements. It's sophisticated storytelling wrapped in beautiful animation and compelling supernatural conflict. Reaching number 1, Beyond the Boundary. This supernatural romance follows Akihito Kanbara, a half-yumu with regenerative abilities, and Mirai Kuriyama, a spirit warrior who can manipulate blood, as they navigate their complicated relationship while facing threats from the supernatural world that wants to use Akihito's unique nature. Beyond the Boundary represents everything I love about Kyoto Animation's approach to storytelling. Gorgeous visuals, complex characters, and emotional depth that hits you when you least expect it. The premise initially seems like standard supernatural romance, but the execution elevates familiar elements into something genuinely special through careful attention to character development and world building. Akihito and Mirai's relationship develops with realistic awkwardness and genuine chemistry, avoiding many romance anime pitfalls through honest communication and mutual respect. Their supernatural abilities create external conflicts that reflect internal struggles, making battles as much about personal growth as defeating enemies. The supporting cast provides necessary context without overwhelming the central relationship. What makes this series exceptional is its visual storytelling. Every frame demonstrates Kyoto Animation's artistic mastery, with particular attention to lighting, color, and character animation that creates emotional resonance through pure visual beauty. The fight sequences blend spectacular supernatural action with character moments that advance relationships and reveal new aspects of personality. It's technically brilliant, emotionally satisfying, and thoroughly rewarding for viewers willing to invest in its characters and world. These 10 series prove that fantastic anime exists beyond mainstream recognition. Each offers unique perspectives on fantasy storytelling that deserve your attention. Which one caught your interest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more hidden gems. And remember, the best anime discoveries happen when you're willing to explore beyond the obvious choices.